Most people think food is the least of their worries, until they can't cook it, because the moment heat disappears, everything changes. No stove, no microwave, no kettle, and suddenly, a kitchen full of food doesn't mean much. Raw rice, dry pasta, frozen meals, all useless without heat. So the real question is simple: if you couldn't cook anything, what would you actually eat? Not in theory, in reality, because this is where most people realize they're not as prepared as they thought. So today, we're going through 12 no-cook foods you'll actually want if something goes wrong. No heating, no preparation, just food that works. Let's start with one of the most reliable options: peanut butter. It's simple, but it solves multiple problems at once: calories, fats, protein, all in one. No prep, no tools, just open and eat. And in a situation where energy matters more than variety, this becomes extremely valuable. Now we add proper protein: tuna or salmon, preferably in pouches, because they're easier to open. This is one of those small details people ignore until they need it, because without a can opener, canned food becomes a problem. Pouches remove that issue completely. Next is something people underestimate: canned beans, already cooked, ready immediately. They're filling and honestly surprisingly versatile. You can eat them straight, or combine them with other items on this list. This is the kind of food that keeps you going. Now here's something simple, but important: tortillas, not bread. Bread spoils fast. Tortillas last longer, take up less space, and turn everything else into something more structured. Without them, you're just eating separate items. With them, you have meals. Next is something that lasts almost indefinitely: honey. It doesn't spoil, and it gives you quick energy. When your body is low on fuel, that matters, more than people expect. Now we move to something small, but powerful: nuts and trail mix. Dense calories, no preparation, easy to carry. This is food you can eat even when you don't feel like eating, and honestly, that becomes important over time. Now, here's something people often overlook: canned fruit. This does more than just add variety. It provides hydration, natural sugar, and something sweet, which, psychologically, makes a big difference, because, eating the same bland food repeatedly really wears you down. Next is something extremely basic: crackers. Dry, long-lasting, easy carbs. They pair with almost everything: peanut butter, fish, cheese. They act as a base, and well, base foods make everything more practical. Now we add something most people don't really think about: shelf-stable cheese, waxed or sealed. This adds fat and protein and, more importantly, flavor, because over time, flavor matters. It's what keeps food from becoming a chore. Next is protein or nutrition bars. These are controlled, compact, and easy to ration. You know exactly what you're getting, which becomes important over longer periods. Now let's talk about something people forget: milk. Not fresh milk. Shelf-stable milk. UHT cartons. They don't need refrigeration until opened, and they give you options: drinks, oats, calories. It's one of those small additions that improves everything else. Finally, ready-to-eat meals, cold-safe options, cans, or sealed packs. These are complete, not just snacks, meals. And when everything becomes repetitive, having something that feels like a proper meal makes a difference. Now here's the key point: it's not just about having these foods, it's about understanding why they work. Because once you understand that, you stop buying random items, and start building something that actually makes sense. No-cook food is about simplicity, reliability, and energy, not variety, not convenience. And here's the reality: if you lost power tomorrow, most kitchens wouldn't last a week without cooking, even if they look full. That's the gap, and once you see it, you can fix it. Start small, pick a few of these, build slowly, and over time your setup changes completely. Because the goal isn't to panic, it's to be prepared enough that you don't have to. And if you want to go even further, there are foods people think last a long time, but actually don't. And storage mistakes that quietly ruin everything. That's what we're breaking down next.